him, give him the rundown, because we understand.
Thank you. I just want to acknowledge Lori, Monty, having your letters meant so much. And my wife. I felt so good before I came up here. I was like, there's no way I'm going to cry. I love you, Michelle. Thank you. She was so supportive. And again, thank you for the letters. It meant so much. My name is Thomas Webster. I was born in New York, Christian family, and joined the Marines, United States Marines, very proud of it. Life-changing experience. Really changed my life around. What do you do after that? I felt like being an NYPD officer would mean so much to me, and I did that. And the best trained, largest police force in the world. And it's just an unbelievable experience, life-changing experience. Married my beautiful wife, 25 years. Having a family just changes your outlook on everything. Kids, you're there for your kids. Their future is what you stand for, your legacy. And everybody says, "Why did you go?" I've worn a uniform, and I've worked elections. And what I saw happening up there in Philadelphia with law enforcement kicking officials out and preventing them from counting the ballots in Philadelphia, holding up cardboard. A police officer is the lowest form of government that there is. And that's what law enforcement was doing up there. And I think that's disgusting. It's not what our country is founded on. It's free and fair elections. The other thing is, you can't talk about January 6th without talking about COVID. Do you believe COVID was an accident?
No.
The timing of that was just unbelievable. And I believe it was intentional. Designed to create that atmosphere to make everybody so afraid. It happened to me. I was fearful. And to create that atmosphere to just load up as many ballots as you need to get this goon across the finish line. And you know what I'm talking about. A compromised asset of another country. And they did it. So I went. Yeah, I went. And like all these other guys right here, Antifa, if they were going to come after me, they were going to get some. They went after women. They targeted women in other protests. And they targeted elderly people. And that just breaks my heart. And there's a lot of people that wanted to go with me. My wife wanted to go. No way. I'm going down by myself. I'm going to account for myself. And some of these other gentlemen here. And they weren't going to mess with the women. We were going to protect them. And that's what I thought for sure. We were going to either see Antifa or BLM before or coming back from the Capitol. I had no idea that the people that were attacking the women were going to be law enforcement. And what these gentlemen all said today is exactly true. I'll never forget it. An elderly couple, the woman, blood, I couldn't tell you what color of face she was. Just pure blood all over her face. It's inexcusable. Any well-trained police department would never allow that to happen. There were so many things that happened that day that should have never happened with any well-trained police department. I mean, everything from officers shoving protesters back off of these 3-story high balconies. They're not even breaking into the darn place. Excuse my French. But instead of just pulling them over and cuffing them as their protocol and training would tell them to do, they push these kids back off that ledge, breaking their legs, some of them, and targeting women. It's all over the place. Women with their hands in the air, getting hit with nightsticks over the head. It just turns my stomach, and I went up to speak out against that. I was confronted with an officer who very quickly, you know, if you go through the whole, what's Tom Webster all about, you're gonna find a narrative about me that I just went up and went after this cop for no reason. You know, having my experience as a Marine and an officer, I can tell you right now, what you don't do is wave at protesters and encourage them to come after you. And that's exactly what happened to me. And I didn't think anything of it. I thought, you know, they were having a bad day, whatever, but all I did was push the bike rack, and that officer punched me in the face. And it's on video. And in my opinion, he's got something in his glove. Anyway, he punched me in the face, almost knocked me out. And I responded, and never striking the officer with the flagpole, but we had our altercation, and everything was done. I just want to emphasize that that officer never reported the incident. He never did any paperwork. He was never injured. And again, getting back to what those officers were doing that day, what they did to Ashley Babbitt is disgusting. The way they covered that whole thing up. Victoria White, nobody knows, maybe they're not familiar with her name, for an officer to repeatedly strike a woman over the head 30 times, the man that officer should be in jail. And right now, the majority of those officers, they weren't put in jail, they were given promotions, and they were given pay raises, and they were given medals to pin on their chest. And that is disgusting. And I just want to say one more thing too. I consider it an honor to be among these men right here. You all saw the same thing, and I think they feel the same way as I do. Not on my watch. You're not going to attack women and young kids, and you're not going to treat the American citizens that way. I mean, you know, I was in the Marine Corps during that time period of, you know, standing up against communism, standing up against the Russians. What you have been witnessing the last decade or two was the growth of communism in this country. And I want you to understand one thing. The very first step in completion of that communist revolution is the humiliation of the people who are willing to stand up for everyone else, and that's us. We stood up against that communist movement, and they came after us to send a message to you. You stay away and let this happen. And again, it's an honor to be among you all. And I just want to close by saying, obviously, with my Northern English, I'm not from Mississippi. But I want to guess. And my wife moved down here a few years ago. I was locked up for over 2.5 years in Texarkana. And I've been surrounded by good, God-fearing Christian people. And being a former law enforcement, locked up in jail is not a good place to be in. And I was kind of like the kid in the corner that didn't have anyone there for protection. Your protection's in the numbers that you are included in. And I was kind of like off on my own. And I just want to give an acknowledgement to a Marine and one of the most Christian believers that I've ever met in my entire life, Steve Grimm. He went out and stuck his neck out and spoke up for me to my fellow guys that were, you know how it works in jail. And they included me in their group, and I ended up selling up with him, and he helped me out so much to get through this difficult time. And I really do believe that you have the secret to the success of this country, in Mississippi. And it's believing in Jesus Christ and our family and our beautiful country. Amen. And I really hope the rest of this country can get that. And that will be my message going forward. Again, thank you very much, everybody. Thank you.